Hi, welcome to my Dreamee crochet channel. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet this flower coaster. I will also show you how to crochet the invisible slip stitch that will help you achieve a neat seamless joint and color changes. So make sure to watch till the end. I'm using 100% cotton DK yarn, which is light worsted number 3. You can also use 100% acrylic or a blend of both if you don't have 100% cotton at hand, but I would recommend using cotton when working on any crochet coaster. You will also need a 3mm or C2 hook, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle and a stitch marker. Or you can use a piece of string instead of the stitch marker. And before we get started, just a note that I have included links to the free and printable pattern in the description below this video. So make sure to check them out. So let's get started. We will start the first round by creating a magic ring. Okay, so this is the ring done, and we now need to single crochet into the ring. So that's one single crochet. And chain one. And this will count as your first double crochet in this round. We will then do another 11 double crochets into the ring. Okay, so let's close the ring a little bit, and we should have 12 stitches in total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And we will now close the round using the invisible slip stitch. I like to use the invisible slip stitch because it gives you a nice invisible seam when connecting the rounds. But first of all, let's just close the magic ring completely. Okay, so we can now do the invisible slip stitch. So to do that, pull up the yarn a bit and remove the hook. And we will now insert the hook into the top of the second double crochet. So this is your first double crochet and this is your second double crochet, and you will insert your hook into this stitch here. But you will insert the hook from the back of your work. So insert your hook like this, loop your yarn back around the hook, pull the loop tight, and you can then pull the hook through the stitch. Pull up the yarn a bit, and let's have a look what it looks like. So the slip stitch you have just created will sit on the top of the first double crochet here. And this will always be the case in all of the rounds. And we should still have 12 stitches in total, including the slip stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So the 12th stitch, which will be your last stitch in the round. Before we continue with round 2, we will just insert the stitch marker into the slip stitch and make sure the stitch is not too tight. Okay, insert your hook back into the loop. Pull the yarn tight. And we are ready to start the next round. You will start round 2 by doing a single crochet into the stitch you slip stitched into, so this one here, and then we will chain 1. So let's single crochet into that stitch. And chain 1. This will again count as your first double crochet in this round. Then do another double crochet into the same stitch. And then do 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So into this one here. So that's 1 double crochet and then another one into the same stitch. Now we will continue by doing 2 double crochets into each stitch around. So the last 2 stitches will go into this slip stitch we created, which is the one with the stitch marker in it. Okay, so that's 1 double crochet in the next stitch and another one into the same stitch. And follow the same pattern all the way around. Okay, so here I am, ready to do the last 2 double crochets into the slip stitch. So remove the stitch marker and now complete your last 2 stitches in that stitch. Okay, so that's your second round completed. You will now close the round using the invisible slip stitch again, and the steps are the same as in the previous round. So we will slip stitch into the top of the second double crochet. So this is the stitch and this is your double crochet. So insert your hook from the back. Loop your yarn around the hook, pull the loop tight, and then pull the yarn through the stitch. Okay, so let's have a look what this round looks like. As you can see, just like in the previous round, the slip stitch sits on the top of the first double crochet. And we should have 24 stitches in this round, so let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and the slip stitch is 24th. Now you can insert your stitch marker into the slip stitch. So insert your hook, insert your stitch marker, insert your hook back into the loop, pull tight, and you are ready to continue with round 3. You will start round 3 by doing a single crochet into the stitch you slip stitched into. So it's this one here again, and then you will chain 1. This will again count as your first double crochet in this round. Then do 2 double crochets into the next stitch. One double crochet into the next stitch, and 2 double crochets into the following stitch. You will now repeat the sequence all the way around. So we will do 1 double crochet in the next stitch and 2 double crochets in the following stitch. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, and you will do this all the way around. Okay, so let's complete the last sequence, which is 1 double crochet in the next stitch, in this one, and 2 double crochets in the last stitch, which is the slip stitch with the stitch marker in it. So let's remove the stitch marker and complete the round. So that's 1 double crochet in here and 2 double crochets in the slip stitch. So that's round 3 completed, and we should have 36 stitches in total, including the slip stitch. And you will now close the round using the invisible slip stitch again. Okay, that's done. and you can really start to appreciate the seamless joint at this stage. So let's now insert the stitch marker into the slip stitch before we continue with round 4. Okay, so we are ready to continue with the next round. In round 4, we will crochet 12 shells around the coaster. So this is the first shell, and this is another, and this is another, and so on. So we will crochet 12 of them all the way around. So to start the first shell, you will do a single crochet into the stitch you slip stitched into and chain 1. So that's a single crochet in here and chain 1. And as always, this counts as your first double crochet. Do one more double crochet into the same stitch. Chain 2. And do another 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And that's the first shell completed. So each shell will consist of 2 double crochets into the same stitch, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets into the same stitch again. So let's now skip 2 stitches and let's create another shell into the 3rd stitch. So 2 double crochets into this stitch, chain 2, and another 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Okay, so that's your second shell created. So let's do one more together. So skip the next 2 stitches and create the next shell in the 3rd stitch. So 2 double crochets into the 3rd stitch, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Okay, so that's the 3rd shell created. So we will now continue following the same sequence all the way around, and don't forget to always skip 2 stitches before creating the next shell. Okay, one more shell, so skip 2 stitches and do 2 double crochets into the third stitch, chain 2 and 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Okay, so we have now completed round 4 and we have created 12 shells around the coaster. So let's just count them to double check. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. You should also have 2 stitches left at the end of this round, so this one here and the slip stitch with the stitch marker in it. Okay, so we will now close the round using the invisible slip stitch again. First remove the stitch marker and then you will insert your hook into the stitch at the top of the second double crochet again. So this is your first double crochet and this is your second double crochet, so you will slip stitch into this stitch here. Insert your hook into that stitch, loop your yarn around the hook and pull the loop tight and pull the hook through the stitch. Perfect, so that's another round completed and it's already starting to look like a nice flower coaster. You should have 72 stitches in total in this round, and that's including the slip stitch. And the slip stitch is here at the top. We don't have to insert the stitch marker in this round, so let's continue with round 5. In round 5, we will crochet another 12 shells around the coaster. But this time, each shell will consist of 6 double crochets. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the first shell. This is the second shell, this is the third shell, and so on. So we will start the first shell by doing a single crochet in the stitch we slip stitched into and chain 1. And as always, this counts as your first double crochet in this round. We will then do 4 double crochets into the chain 2 space. So the chain 2 space is this gap here, and this one, and this one. So basically the gap you created by chaining 2 in round 4. So let's do 4 double crochets into the space. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the last double crochet of this shell will go into this stitch here. So I'll show you which one, this one here. So I'll show you from this angle as well. So that's the next stitch, this one here. So that's the last double crochet in there. And that's your first shell completed. Okay, so skip 2 and create another shell. So we will start by double crochet in this third stitch here. So that's the first double crochet, then it's 4 double crochets into the chain 2 space. and one more double crochet into the next stitch. And that's your second shell completed. So skip the next 2 stitches and double crochet into the 3rd stitch again. Four double crochets into the chain 2 space, and the last double crochet goes into the next stitch. And that's the 3rd shell completed. So we will now continue to crochet the shells all the way around. You will always skip 2, we'll do 1 double crochet into the 3rd stitch, we'll do 4 double crochets into the space, and then we'll finish the shell by doing the last double crochet in the next stitch. And you will follow the same sequence all the way around. Okay, so we need to complete the last shell. So let's skip 2 stitches and double crochet into the 3rd stitch. 4 double crochets into the chain 2 space, and the last double crochet goes into the next stitch. Okay, so that's the last shell completed. So let's just count the shells. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And you should have 72 stitches in total in this round. We now need to close the round and fasten off, but we won't be using the invisible slip stitch this time, but instead we will use the invisible fasten off method because that gives you a really nice and neat finish. So cut the yarn off, leaving a longer tail for sewing. Pull the yarn out like this and thread your yarn needle with the tail. Insert the needle into the top of the second double crochet, which is here. So this is your second double crochet, this is your first double crochet, this is your second double crochet, and you will insert your needle into this stitch here. So insert it from the front into the whole loop and pull the needle through. Pull a little bit, and you will then go back into the last stitch in this round, which is the stitch the yarn is coming out from. So this stitch, and this is the yarn. So go back into this stitch, but you will insert the needle from the top into the center of the stitch. So just here. And pull the needle through. Then pull tight, but not too tight. And as you can see, you have now created a new stitch on the top of the first double crochet. So this is the first double crochet here. And this is the stitch. And it looks really nice and neat, and you can't really tell where you joined the round at all. So all there is left to do is weave the yarn tails in. So go through the back of the stitches, and I usually go in 3 different directions to make sure the yarn tail is nice and secure. So let's just go through here first. Then go in the opposite direction. And then go back again. Okay, let's just check, that's looking fine. So you can now cut the yarn tail off. You also need to weave in the starting tail, so thread your needle with the tail. And just go around the magic circle like this. It can be a bit tight, so you sometimes need to pull on the needle a bit harder. And then cut the yarn off. Okay, so this is what the back side looks like, and this is what the front looks like. I also promised to show you how to change the colors, so let's do that now. You will always change colors when working on the last double crochet in the round. So here I have round 1 with 11 double crochets, and I'm ready to complete the last double crochet, which is when I will change the color. So yarn over, insert your hook into the magic ring, yarn over, pull through the ring, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops on the hook. And you now have 2 loops left on the hook, and this is when you will change the color. So grab the other yarn, yarn over and pull it through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. It can be a bit fiddly, so do this slowly and don't pull on the yarn tails too much, just slightly. Turn your work over. You want to tighten up the magic ring first. And then tie a knot with the 2 yarn tails. Okay, so that's the color change completed, and we will now do the invisible slip stitch as we did in all the rounds during this video. So you will follow exactly the same steps using the new color. So pull the yarn out, insert the hook from the back, wrap the yarn around the hook, pull it tight, and pull the yarn through the stitch. Okay, and as you can see, we have created the slip stitch using the new color. So we will now skip to the end of the next round so I can show you once more. So here I am at the end of the next round, ready to do another color change. So let's complete the last double crochet in this round. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, which is the last stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, and then grab the other yarn. This time it is already attached to the back of the coaster. Yarn over and pull it through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. Again, pull on the yarn tails just to make the stitches tighter. And close the round by doing the invisible slip stitch. So insert your hook from the back, wrap your round around the hook, pull tight, okay, you can pull on the tails a little bit more just to make the stitches tighter. And as you can see, we have again created a slip stitch in the new color at the top here. And you will just simply follow the same steps every time you want to change the color. So your coasters are completed, and we have achieved a beautiful seamless joint of the rounds and very neat color changes thanks to the invisible slip stitch technique. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful, and please don't forget that I have included the links to the free and printable patterns in the description below the video. If you liked this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell button to receive an update every time I publish a new video. Thank you for watching.